Debbie with Mystery Quilts Anonymous. I'm so happy you joined me again. I'm having so much fun today. And we're getting a quilt done. Can you believe it? Hope y'all are having fun out there. Sorry, I was dying of heat. Just turned off the fan. Maybe you can hear me better now. For this clue, for those who come back on the beginning, for this clue we're gonna, you've already cut, or hopefully you have already cut. You want to scan down here. I've already cut all my stuff for this clue. I just wanted to give you a tip on your medium squares, because it's the lighter of the two. We're going to make hourglasses like we did in clue 2 with our medium and our darks. I'm drawing a line on the back of my mediums, but I just wanted to show you a quick tip to help you out. It helps me. It might help you. I don't know. But you can see the 45-degree angle line going across there. I set that right on the corner up there. Make sure my 45 is lined up. And that should give me a straight line. If I've cut my square straight, that should give me a straight line corner to corner to draw with. Oops. So these are easy. We're just going to make hourglasses like we did before. So let's work with this part of the clue here, where we're going to make the center of these blocks. These pictures, again, you can't see my blues in there really well. We're going to make these square and a square blocks. You've cut your squares at 3 3/8 inches, and we have 2 7/8 inch squares cut on one diagonal. These are going to become the outside of these. Let me show you. And then I'm going to show you how to find centers to make this really easy and uniform, symmetrical, whatever the good word is to put in there. Okay, so that becomes our square and a square right there. And then these become our hourglasses here. And then these are the other 4 squares cut for the outsides. This picture isn't really good. We're going to make these hourglasses, this square and a square, and we've cut these 4 squares here. So let's just start here. All right, when I do these, I grab one of my squares and we're going to fold this in half. We're just going to finger press 2 little things in it, just like that, okay, on those 2 sides. Then I get a triangle and put it wrong sides together, and I do the same thing along the straight edge. They're both straight, but that one is the angle. This one is the straight edge. And then I don't know if you can see that clearly, but we've got a finger press right there, and we've got a finger press right there, and those 2 should, because this one's folded this way and this one's folded this way, they should just nest right in there together to give that really nice crisp center. We'll do the same thing on this side. Trim up and start again. We'll do these 2 sides the same way, but after we get the first ones done. So let's go work on these while we hang out and wait for others to show up. Let me put this out of the way. I'm going to put my 1/4 inch foot back on. I was working on those hourglasses. Where's the one I finger pressed? There it is. I'm just going to finger press this again, just so I can see what I'm doing. You can see it better over here. The light's a little better. You can see the finger press mark, and you can see the finger press mark in here. I don't know if you can see it as well as I can. But there we go. We're going to lay that right there. So 1/4 inch away from the side. And again, just do this twice so you can see it. It's a pretty easy. We're going to make the half square, the hourglass is just exactly like we did before. Okay, I've got my 2 finger press spots tucked in there together. Okay. Now I like to just trim off. Well, I got it right there. And I've already done my finger press on this side, so I'm just going to do this one. And tuck it right in there. Do it again. And one more time. Now, I usually go to the ironing board, but I'm just going to finger press these back to show you how to carry on. Alright, so I'm just going to...
Are those your medium and dark colors?
These are my light.
And dark.
This is my light. This is my dark. And I'm going to bring this back up and make my centers. Finger press those again. Except I'm going the opposite way this time, so now my finger press marks are on the opposite sides. And with this one, you're going to see this goes there. Let's see, slightly off there. Hang on. There we go. Actually, no, it's not. There it is. Oh, it's completely off. Okay. I think I'll lay this down here. Maybe you can see it a little better. You can see that it's going off both edges. So if you measure in 1/4 inch, it's going to be right at that V. So you're going to sew from that V 1/4 inch down to that V on this side. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Let's do that. I'm going to show you how to do that one more time. Finger pressing those back. I would normally iron that at the iron to make it much better, more flat, easier to work with, but I'm too lazy. Oops, can't forget this one. All right, lining those up. Finger pressing those and laying my finger presses together. Remember, you have your 1/4 inch here and here, hangs off both ends. Again, I like to trim those off, so I'm just trimming off that edge that was hanging over. I'm just trimming that edge off. I'm going to flip it around. I have my little finger press dip there, so I'm going to Carry on. And this one will finish it up. Remember, you have your corners hanging off the edge. One more time. You'll do 4 of these, and these become the centers of these 4. I'm not quite sure what kind of a star they are. Kind of like an Ohio star, but not really an Ohio star. I'm pulling this one off the end. I'm going to trim it up. Actually, I'm going to take both of these off, and we'll take them to the ironing board so you can see them. Okay. And here we go. While we're waiting for that iron to warm up, I'll show you everything that I've done so far. So far, you should have 4 of these and 4 of these if you're doing the big one. If you're doing the small one, actually those look alike. Let me flip it around. There we go. With your medium and your dark and your medium, 4 of these and 4 of these. Unless you're doing the small version, then you have 2 and 2. Okay? Everybody should have 1 of these. Everybody should have 2 this colorway and 2 this colorway. It's hard to see with that red there. There we go. Red and this, so this is your light and your dark, and this is your light and your medium. So everybody should have 2 and 2 of those. Everybody should have 8 of your light and dark, and 8 of these, 4 of these. So you have light, medium, dark. So you have 8 2 colors and 4 3 colors. And the iron is hot. Using triangles that are bigger than we needed them gave us our 1/4 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. And since I trimmed as they came off the sewing machine, I don't have to trim dog ears, but I will go back and make sure that this square is a 4.5 inch square. I'll take it to the cutting mat and cut it up. Well, not really, just trim it down a little bit. I'll show you how I do that. There are a lot of options. You can use a 4.5 inch ruler. You can use a larger ruler, which a lot of times I like to do, a larger square ruler, because then I can use the 4.5 inch line on this one that's square, and I can make sure I have my 1/4 of an inch and just trim off what I need to trim off. So I trim 2 sides at a time. Top one looks pretty good. Turn that side down, and I have my 4.5 inch squares. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, turn that off. And just have to nick a little bit off this one side. And we're done with those, and those will go in the center. Let me show you the layout. So these are going to go like this. Then you're going to use these to make your hourglasses like we did in the Clue 2. And those 4 hourglasses are going to go here with your darks on the top and bottom and on the sides. You just don't want your darks touching your darks. You want your mediums touching your darks. Hope that makes sense. Should I make one up and show you?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you need me to make one up and show you. Okay, so that's the layout. You're going to sew that together just like a 9 patch. And this is going to be trimmed to 12.5 inches right now. The next clue comes out at 6 p.m., which is 2 hours and 45 minutes from right now. And that's the layout. This is our last block that we have to sew together for the inside of the quilt. There's just a tiny bit of cutting if you're doing the bigger rather than the smaller. If you're doing the 84 inch, there's just a little bit more to cut in clue 4. If you're doing the 60 inch, after you cut and sew together clue 3, you have all of your blocks ready to go. Isn't that cool? Okay, if there aren't any questions, which is pretty straightforward this time, then that's all, and I'll see you at 6 o'clock. Bye, guys.